Local buses could be replaced by Uber-style rides, the Transport Secretary has said, sparking a backlash from Labour, trade unions and campaigners. Chris Grayling told local government leaders that the future of local buses was a more bespoke service, suggesting on-demand models similar to the ride-hailing app could be used more widely to bridge funding gaps. The Transport Secretary made his comments in a meeting with the chairman of the Local Government Association, Lord Porter, and the chair of its Transport Board, Martin Tett, in October. The minutes were published this week. Funding for buses across England and Wales has been cut by 33% since 2010, while passenger numbers have fallen to a 10-year low and fares have soared above inflation. Asked how to address the funding gap, Grayling suggested that the nature of bus provision is likely to change over the coming years, with more Uber-style, demand-led services replacing traditional services. Labour said the comments were the equivalent of telling people let them take taxis and that it was not the right way to address the chronic underfunding of bus services. Rather than addressing the buses crisis, Chris Grayling's solution is to say let them take taxis. According to the minutes of the meeting, Tett said switching to an Uber-style model made sense up to a point and had been trialled, but that such services needed to be accessible for all people. Andy MacDonald, the Shadow Transport Secretary, said, for many people, especially the young and the elderly, those living in rural areas and those who do not own a car, bus services are a lifeline. But rather than addressing the buses crisis, Chris Grayling's solution is to say let them take taxis. Nobody wants to see Uber replacing local bus services except Chris Grayling. The Unite trade union also expressed concern. Its National Officer for Passenger Transport, Bobby Morton, said, in Grayling's warped view of the UK's transport needs, he now sees an unregulated and expensive bus service, probably only operating at peak times, as the transport holy grail. He is completely out of touch with ordinary people and their daily transport needs. Research in the Campaign for Better Transport's Buses in Crisis report found that 63% of local authorities had cut funding for buses since 2010, and almost half had withdrawn some services. The report said local authorities in England and Wales had cut £78 million in funding for bus services and reduced or withdrawn more than 2,400 routes since the Conservatives came power. The campaign has, however, previously suggested there could be some value in demand-responsive services. It cited Cabus, a pre-bookable bus service operating in Carmarthenshire and Ceredigion in rural West Wales, and Arrival launched ArrivaClick, an on-demand service for Sittingbourne, in March. Companies such as Uber and LYFT have trialled services that closely resemble buses. LYFT runs a regular service called Shuttle in San Francisco and Chicago, offering passengers a fixed fare route in a shared vehicle, much like a public bus. Uber trialed UberHop in North American cities including Toronto and Seattle, but the services have ceased.